right, here we go. Everybody, get on up and do your stuff. You better get up. Take the rub off the floor. We're gonna groove right here a little bit more. Do your stuff. Don't be so rough. But you got to be tough when you do your stuff.
Good morning and welcome to the over 75 mixed pairs final of the Bowls North Harbour Masters, kindly sponsored by Ryman. My name is Stephen Yates, the chairman of Bowls North Harbour, and alongside me in the commentary box we have the lovely Selena Goddard. How are you, Selena?
Yeah, doing well, and I've just got the sun streaming in on me on the side here. It's beautiful. I feel like I'm outdoors just like them out there today. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing how this final goes.
Yeah, I think it's so
Yeah, and we've joined the feed. This is the beginning of the first end, so got Geoff Norwood, who's just released his bowl, playing the backhand. Just to introduce the players, we got Geoff Horwood from Manly, paired up with Kathy Lister from Pukekohe. Now, Kathy's only a third-year junior, and this pair was actually put together on Wednesday as they were both single entries and needed partners, so they were paired together by Bowls North Harbour, and they've come all the way and made the final, so that's pretty exciting stuff, Selena.
Yeah, it's great. Sometimes you can find as well, being a single entry in these events, you can be a bit nervous, but often when you meet your partner and it's about just playing the bowls and enjoying being out there, sometimes you can produce the best stuff. So that's what these two have probably done to get to where they are today. Yeah,
and they've certainly, talking to them before, they've made a very close friendship very quickly. Just to identify the bowls of the players, Geoff's using red bowls, Kathy orange, Garry Banks with his traditional white bowls, and Beryl MacDonald using the blue bowls. So Garry and Beryl paired together from Takapuna, and Gary's actually playing in all three finals for the 75-year plus, as we see Geoff looking to sit that bowl out of Gary's, and he's made connection, which is great. And it looks like, looking at the lollipops there, that's one to the, just working out on the scoreboard who's actually in red and green, or red and blue. We'll update that for you very shortly with the score. So first end completed. And one shot there to Geoff Horwood. So great bowl there, playing with a little bit of weight to remove the shot bowl. And we'll see now Kathy Lister deliver the jack. And so 1-0 after the first end, Selena.
Yeah, I find 12 ends is quite different from the traditional amount of ends that you play. So there's probably a bit of different strategy that these teams will be bringing into things. You know, if you're six ends, half a game will go really quick for them. So I'd imagine the beginning of the game you'd not want to be dropping big numbers. So one's probably pretty steady for now.
Yeah, and I've been around the traps for the first 4 days, and the amount of games that have come down to the last end, either players, drawing or being within one shot. There has been some blowouts, but certainly, just cutting the numbers down and just staying sort of in the mix, for as many ends as possible, given, like you said, it's a shortened version of traditionally 15 ends playing, or 18 ends, playing for the pairs.
Yeah, and I think, just going off those scores there, if we sort of visit back to the semi-finals, we had Geoff's team win their semi-final 11-10. And you were mentioning something there about how it was last end or extra end, or was that...
Yeah, it was extra end. It was tied 10-all playing the last, and 10-9 playing the last, and finished 10-all, and Garry got up on the extra end.
Yep. So that was Gary's semi-final there against Gayhorn from Mairangi Bay.
Yep. See another nice bowl coming from Kathy Lister, just a metre over the head, but certainly found the line pretty good. on a outstanding surface that the Orewa Bowling Club greenkeeper Tony Rickaby has prepared. Here the players have commented all week on how true it is and how it's actually running quite quick, as we see a lovely backhand draw bowl there from Beryl with a toucher. Garry's getting the chalk out, so currently his team holding one. Amazing for a third year junior to, you know, be put together with someone that she doesn't even know, but to be able to get all the way through to the final, because there was certainly quite a lot of competition.
Yeah, and sort of backing that up as well, you know, being on the TV rink as well as a third year bowler, I'm sure she had a bit of either a really good sleep last night or a bit of a dodgy one.
yeah, absolutely. She looks quite refreshed there. And relaxed, which is good. Seeing another bowler coming there from Beryl, looking just to reach that back bowl. She's just gone slightly past it. So looking here, it looks like the shot bowl of Kathy Lister. Looks like Gary Banks's team's holding one at the moment, from the angle that we're given here. So you've had a recent training camp with the New Zealand ladies and men's teams up here in Auckland recently, Selena?
Yeah, this is on Waitangi weekend. Bowls New Zealand's just in the process of selecting the team that goes to the Commonwealth Games, which is in Birmingham. So obviously Birmingham, for those that don't know, the greens are very, very different to what we're seeing right now. This green's probably running around 18 seconds. Over in Birmingham, you can expect, somewhere, depending on the weather, between 9 to 12 seconds. So, we had a training camp at Rocky Nook where the green's running about that speed, and there was quite a large squad that was there with an opportunity to just, have some games and see how we were all playing. And so from that squad, they're then going to have a reduced squad that'll attend another training camp in mid-March to then, at the end of March, get to a named team to go to Birmingham.
Oh, cool. And you're well and truly in the mix there?
Yeah, so it'll be, part of the squad, which is, first of all, great to be there. So just a matter of, trying my absolute best to play some quality bowls on that heavy green while juggling it in with our other bowling commitments that we have naturally in the season.
So as we see, Geoff Horwood just looks like that's going to cross the centre line and end up just wide of the pretty good weight, but wide of the jack there. Gary's still got a couple of bowls left to go. He's got his line pretty good, just looking to adjust to the weight of green. Like you said, it's probably running about 18 seconds today, and will probably get a bit quicker as the sun comes out and reduces a bit of moisture. So players here don't seem to have too much of an issue of getting the line right. It's just now about that weight adjustment.
Yeah, and I think weight will be a crucial part in this shot that Geoff's trying to play, because you can see a wee pocket forming there where the oranges are.
Yeah.
But missed that opportunity. So I guess for Garry here, he's just looking to back that up, get another one in.
Yeah, he's really just got to beat that back orange bowl there, and should get two shots. If he plays it with maybe a little bit of weight, it might push the other bowl through as well. But certainly just looking to add to the count at the moment. Looks like he's on a pretty good line. Just again slightly heavy, so pretty consistent as three bowls, Garry Banks.
Yep.
One to his team, I think, signalled.
Yep.
So makes it 1-1 after two of the ends. So Selena, you talk about the greens over in England being a lot slower than here and stuff like that. explain to the people who don't know, when you talk about a 12 or a 17 second green, what does that actually mean?
So that just means how long it takes for the jack or the bowl, when it's released from the hand, to then finish at the end of the green. So you can often find the true speed of a green when you're doing a maximum length, which is quite similar to what we're seeing here with what they rolled up. Yeah, so kind of depending on the speed also changes the line as well of a bowl. So over in Birmingham, we wouldn't be playing with the bowls that we would be seeing on the green right now by our teams out here. You would opt to play with a wider bowl, which actually makes the same line as narrow bowls on these quicker greens.
Yeah.
So yeah, a bit to get your head around in technical terms there, but you know, I think ultimately when it comes to green speeds, a lot of it is in your head. You know, try not to think about it too much. You spend a bit of work in your technique, but it's just a matter of, you know, believing your processes and believing that you can make that fine weight adjustments. And once you sort of get on a roll, you can get on a roll.
Yeah, sure. And what sort of bowls do you use at the moment?
Yeah, so I got on the greens out here that we can see, I play with Dreamline XGs.
Yeah.
And then I've got a set of Tigers that I play with on heavier greens, and Tigers are probably one of the widest bowls that Henselite are making at the moment. Find that they just have a lovely draw to the jack.
Yeah, I know last time the Blackjacks went to the Commonwealth Games, I think in Edinburgh, a lot of the players were playing with Taylor aces.
Yeah, Taylor aces, yep.
Which, you know, on a green like this, you'd be taking probably 3 winks of green and bowls coming back and turning on themselves.
Yep.
But nowadays, you know, most of the players now, you know, the modern bowls are tending to be a lot narrower.
Yeah, I think especially in New Zealand as well, with the wind that we can get on these fast greens, if you do have quite a wide bowl, you'll definitely need to invade on some of the neighbouring rinks to be able to get your draw to the jack.
Yeah, so just looking there, Kathy Lister with their last bowl there, jack level, but just slightly wide of the surface. Garry seems to like this bowl out of the hand of his partner Kathy Lister as she comes in, and this looks like it's going to be pretty close to shot. Gets a clap from his skip. Just finishes about 6 inches short of the jack. So back to now Beryl. Oh, sorry, it was actually Beryl who bowled the last bowl. Back to Kathy now.
I think Kathy heard you.
So we see Kathy sticking to her forehand, playing towards the covered roof facility here at Orewa Bowls, and looks like this is on a pretty good line too, just to see if she's got the right weight. And pretty good response there. So second shot just short of the blue bowl there of Beryl MacDonald. So it's up to the skips now. Still plenty of room to draw there, Selena.
Yeah, you'd be pretty happy if you were Garry right now. I think, you know, ideally when you're leading, if you can get one close to the jack and a couple behind, you're sitting in the primo position, as opposed to, you know, a couple jack level or short and one that's a bit further behind. So I think here as well it'll look quite tricky for the skips in the sense of the jack's probably a bit covered. So when you're down the other end and you look ahead, you probably won't be able to see that much of that jack. So the skips will probably be getting a good look of the head and seeing what adjustments they need to do to either draw another one in there or to get the shot.
You certainly noticed there Garry was having quite a long look at the head there, deciding which hand he's going to play. Obviously in the final here it is 12 ends and no time limit, so there's no issues with skips having a look at the head. You know, if Garry can sort of get round that blue bowl and just sort of move it six inches or so, would could possibly make it 4, but I think he's just a bit wide on this bowl. I think Garry's just struggling really with the weight at the moment. the last end there, all three of his bowls were at least 1.5 meters over. So
Do you think it's final nerves?
yeah, well, Garry though, I mean, he's probably one of the most relaxed bowlers I know.
Yeah.
I saw him a few weeks ago in that Auckland 242 when he was playing with Wendy
Yep.
Jensen, and I think they were something like 15-2 down or something halfway through the game, and ended up coming back to win. And Garry, his demeanour, his body language was just exactly the same
Yeah.
the whole way through. Nothing bothers him.
Yep.
Um,
Gary's had quite a rich history and, you know, his involvement in sports as well. So he's probably naturally got that athlete's mindset to handling pressure.
Yeah, he's just so relaxed. He, you know, I started my bowling career about 14 years ago with Garry
Nice.
at the Takapuna RSA, and he showed me a lot of things, and he has moved around a few clubs on the North Shore, but he certainly gives it 100% with all the clubs that he does play at.
Oh, it's great to see him in Takapuna colours.
Yes, I'm sure you would. And we'll see the Takapuna colours later on as well in our next game, in the women's pairs 60-74 final. So Garry just been given the foot there from Beryl where he needs to land. Still got plenty of room to draw there for another shot. So again, sticking to that forehand. And this one looks like it's going to be a bit short. I think he got a bit scared with the weight of his first two now, and now he's made the over adjustment. So
Yeah.
still a great opportunity here for Geoff Horwood to draw around that white bowl of Garry Banks, which is quite short, and get past that, which unfortunately looks like he's going to actually hit it. Yeah, so not a bad block from Garry.
That's right.
So completion of the third end, it's 1 to the Garry Banks combination. They lead 2-1 after 3 ends. I'd like to thank our lovely volunteer as well from the Orewa Bowling Club. It's holding up the lollipops there for the massive crowd that we've got in here so far. Obviously limited to 100 spectators due to the COVID mandate rules, but it's been for us and our organising committee, it's been quite a a big challenge to make sure that we had to spread all the venues, all the games around different venues, because of keeping the numbers down as much as we possibly can, so we don't even get near the 100 mark, which is stipulated by the government.
Yeah, I think as well, being a player too, it's we're quite fortunate that we are playing a sport where we're still able to play during these mandates, and also that we have governing bodies that totally understand it, and we have as many facilities as we do to enable events like this to be able to run. It would have been such a shame for this to be cancelled, but here we are at the finals day.
Yeah, no, we were, as the organisers, getting very concerned leading up to the event. We had 1 or 2 players pull out because of their desire not to travel. But the overall feeling from all the players, both the local players and out of town, is that they've felt safe. They followed the protocols that have been put in place by the clubs, and the clubs follow the centre's rules, and the centre follows the governing body, Bowls New Zealand. They're only guidelines, but if we all work together, the main thing is that, by making it a mandate of a bowling club to be at least double vaccinated, gives you some clarity and surety that the people there have had, the protection that they need.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, and I think probably speaking on majority of the players out there, we're really looking forward to the world going back to as it was a few years ago, and we're all patiently waiting.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're as players, and I'm sure you'll be involved as well, the National Intercentre coming up next month hosted by Bowls North Harbour. Hoping that we'll be able to get the right protocols in place so that goes ahead, because that would be a massive blow to bowls nationally at a representative level if that was cancelled.
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll see. Wait and see what's in store.
I'm sure, talking to Bowls New Zealand this week, they're going to make every effort possible to ensure that the event does go ahead. But it's still a month away. Unfortunately, they had to cancel the national fours and mixed pairs, mainly due to 700 odd people travelling from various parts of the country converging on Taranaki, which would have made it extremely difficult to police and mandate. So unfortunately, they were left with very little choice.
Oh, it's great that we've been able to get to the final stage of the Masters anyhow, so we can bring this national event to the people out there who have been missing bowls on telly. I've definitely been one of them.
Yeah, me too, absolutely. As Garry playing his backhand here, he's holding at least 2 shots at the moment. So this one's just going to pull up a little bit short. It's a bit of an indifferent start from Garry. He's usually very consistent with his bowls, very close to the jack, but certainly getting a lot of assistance at the moment from his lead, Beryl MacDonald, who's also from the Takapuna Club.
Yeah, once again, put a couple actually sort of fairly close to the jack and one behind, so she's doing all the right things that she needs to do, and often in pairs, if both of you are producing magic out there, it's awesome, but often sometimes one of us isn't quite playing to the ability that they can, and as a teammate, that's your opportunity to step up and sort of hold the reins for a wee bit, and surely and eventually, your partner always comes back on.
Yeah, and it's always difficult to try and play the perfect bowl every time you release it out of your hand. As Garry comes in, he's got the commentator's luck, not the commentator's curse this time, and brings it slightly round Beryl's bowl. But yeah, when it doesn't matter what discipline you're playing apart from singles, is when you're playing with someone else, someone's always going to go off at some stage, and it's up to the teammates to try and regain the confidence of that person, but also put some bowls in there so it compensates for the bowls of the people who aren't going so good.
Yeah, that's right. I think as well what we're probably seeing here with a few shorties happening in the early game, as a skip it's often quite hard to find that draw to the centre line when you've got obstacles in your way, which is probably what we've seen here from Geoff, where he's just done a couple under, probably because the Kathy's orange bowls are looking juicy to his line.
Yeah, another great bowl there from Garry, just coming under the front bowl there, so they're holding, I'd say, definitely 3. Potentially 4. Kathy Lister just given the instructions to try and get Geoff to draw under her orange bowls. But I think this one again is going to cut across the head and end up where his other 2 are, making it 3 now. So
perfect weight for it as well.
Yeah, perfect weight, but this could be quite costly for the Horwood Lister combination. Taking 3 out and going to measure for the 4th probably.
No, you can measure it if you like. Measure it.
That doesn't look like that's in. So 3 there to Garry Banks and Beryl MacDonald. So taking them to a 5-1 lead after 4 ends of the 12 ends game here at Orewa Bowling Club. And what a beautiful day to have a finals day, especially up here at Orewa with no wind at the moment, which is great.
Yeah, no wind, and once these bowlers have finished their game, they could just walk, 100 metres and they're at the beach, and if they want a coffee, it's, you know, great for the spectators as well to get their morning coffee and then come watch a great game of bowls.
Oh, I mean, this club, you know, is one of the most progressive clubs in New Zealand, in my opinion, at the moment, with the addition of the covered facility. They also have another artificial surface, and talking to a few of the board members here at Orewa Bowls, is that they're potentially looking at adding a second cover to their facility here, which is being used 7 days a week at the moment. Doesn't matter whether it's raining or windy or sunshine and cloudy. You can always guarantee when you come to Orewa that you're going to get a game of bowls, which is, you know...
Good bowl, Beryl.
Yeah, Garry there just saying great bowl. But yeah, I mean, these covered facilities now are just giving people who are wanting to play bowls the opportunity to play the whole year round, Selena.
Yeah, absolutely. I know myself, you know, playing out of Bowls North Harbour, we've definitely made use of Orewa's undercover green as much as possible, and we're really appreciative that that the club offers us the chance to be able to do that.
Only that much, you're bang on.
Yeah, so it just means in winter you can still keep playing if it's raining outside and if the carpets are underwater. But as we can see here, looking across from the natural green, they've also got that carpet out there as well. So 3 different surfaces, 3 different green types for them, which is awesome.
Yeah, well, the club membership this year has gone up well and truly over the 300 mark. So, you know, I was talking to one of the guys yesterday, and they said they had 8 new members join last week. People who had never played bowls before, which is just great for the game. You know, people been coming along and trying a game of bowls. You know, a lot of social activity as well. You know, which really is where the pinnacle lies for us, is trying to attract as many players as we can to play our sport.
Yeah, and I think, you know, Kathy is a great example here where, you know, look, after 3 years of playing bowls, you can be here on tally playing in a final. So,
That's
you know,
handy
and her correction there that we saw with her second bowl is, you know, is a show of her skills that she has with often in bowls. Some of the best bowlers are measured by how well they correct from their first, so, or their second, whatever it may be.
So we'll see how Kathy gets on with this bowl. She misses that front blue one. She might get reasonably close, slip that, but yeah, just probably about 2 metres too much weight. So as they swap over, Gary's team there holding one, but certainly plenty of room for both skips to play either hand to pick up the shot there.
Got one. He plays a lot of run shots.
Yeah.
He's a 3-ball.
Some entertaining conversations going on there. What do you reckon they're talking about?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Both local Orewa members. Obviously, the lady Lynn in the green Ryman shirt is volunteer for this tournament, and must give special mention to Ryman Healthcare for their support of this this event, and certainly without their support we wouldn't have been able to go ahead with this. So a massive thank you to Ryman, and we will have some representatives from Ryman popping down during the day. But certainly, you know, the bowling demographic, average sort of age is around that retirement sort of age, looking for potential retirement villages to stay, and certainly if you are looking for a place, there's plenty of Ryman facilities around, certainly in Auckland and the rest of the country. Garry comes in really good weight.
Yeah, he's found his weight now.
Yeah. So holding 2 at the moment. And this is the fifth end now, and certainly Geoff Horwood and Kathy Lister really sort of need to start scoring. Otherwise, pick up another couple here, they'll start to fall a wee way behind, and like you said, we're nearly halfway through.
Yeah, already.
So Geoff got his line there, but 1.5 metres short. So I think Garry will just stick to his forehand. He seems to be picking that quite well at the moment.
I think as well, we can see Garry and Beryl have scored on the last 3 ends as well, so they're on a bit of a runner. Something that I do in my game is when I've sort of scored, or if the team against me has scored 3 in a row, just to try and break that number 4. Yeah, so often in games like finals or any stage in a game, and instead of letting those nerves creep in, you just try to break the game down and have some little mini goals that you want to try achieve along the way.
Yeah, well, certainly then if we look at this game, 4 ends, so a third of the game played, and like you said, Gary's team's picked up 3 of the 4 ends and currently holding 3 shots here at the moment. So Gary's 2 bowls count, and I'm sure if he can replicate his last bowl, will certainly put a lot of pressure on Geoff Horwood to try and pull something out of the bag to score. But it looks like Gary's well and truly short here, but maybe he's trying to put a bowl in the line of Geoff on that backhand, which may cause him to change to his forehand. We'll see what happens. He stays on his backhand. I think it's all going to come down to his speed, and that looks like it's starting to turn quite quickly. So it looks like 3 there to the Garry Banks skip side. Take the 2 out there, and on screen it looks like that white is the 3rd one.
Sometimes the distance of the cameras don't always do your bowls justice. I know that whenever I've been playing and I've seen a camera, I'm like, if I drop it short, it looks way shorter than I dropped it.
Yeah, no, I remember watching Bowls 3-5. Unfortunately, that was cancelled at the end of last year, but watching that on TV or live, and the bowls actually are a lot closer than what the camera actually makes them look like. They look like they're miles away.
Yeah.
But they could only be 1 metre or so. So 8-1 after 5 ends. It's going to be a real difficult task for Geoff Horwood and Kathy Lister to come back. They certainly need to win this end, don't they, Selena?
Yeah, they definitely do have time to be able to do that. If they scored 1 every end, they'd get the job done.
No, the actual...
So there's checking here to see if the jack is in or out. So that peg or that little white marker with the black line on it, that's just indicating the rink size. So we can see the umpires involved here to have a look if it's in or out.
Get his mirror out.
All he needs is that line
Yeah, I think they're looking at some greens often have markings permanently on the greens.
Oh,
and
sorry.
Oh, Gary's decided to move it anyway. And full credit to the greenkeeper here, Tony. You vaguely see that the rinks are all permanently marked in blue, like they do in Australia, on the Gold Coast. So the 2 white lines that you're seeing are painted for the camera purposes, to ensure that players don't get in the way of the cameras when we're trying to stream everything. And there's permanent blue lines that are showing the marking of the outside of the rink.
Never tells them. That's why he's an umpire.
Yeah, thank goodness we have umpires, because sometimes there are just some things you can't agree between yourself and the other player.
Yeah, no, there's, and to all volunteers, the umpires, the staff that are here at Orewa Bowls, the staff of Bowls North Harbour and board members of Bowls North Harbour, everybody that's made this tournament possible. But certainly umpires, it's a tireless
Get
job,
one
because
pipe.
sometimes you can sit there for 2 or 3 hours and not be asked to come and do anything. And then there's sometimes you're up and down like a yo-yo, with especially when you're playing on multiple rinks.
Yeah, we're definitely grateful for all the volunteers that we get in bowls. If it wasn't for them, you know, a lot of these events wouldn't be able to go ahead.
Absolutely. And we see there the first bowler, Beryl MacDonald. She's put one right on the jack. Nice toucher, going to stay on her backhand, hopefully get something close again. Looks like it's going to be a bit short, Selena, I think.
Yeah, I was just getting a wee bit distracted there by Kathy's shoe. I think we'll have a look, see if we can have a look next time, but I'm pretty sure I saw her measure strapped on her shoelaces.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. We find I find especially as a woman, we don't often have many pockets.
No.
Great.
Oh, great bowl
great
there.
shot. Definitely one of Beryl's skipping shots. She skips a fair bit as well at Takapuna Bowling Club, so she probably saw that bowl on the jack and, yeah, thought it looked great.
Yeah, oh, there we go.
There we
There's
go.
a picture of the shoe. Yeah. So do you think that'd have any effect on your leading foot?
Clearly not. I mean, I've seen some measures in some funny spots, and I know sometimes for me, I'll clip it to the back of my cap. For the clothes makers out there that, are into making bowls clothes, definitely give us those pockets.
Absolutely. And that bowl of Beryl MacDonald, is playing just up to, as we call, up to the head sort of weight, which set the orange bowl there of Kathy Lister's and followed through. And she had, like you said earlier, the importance of having bowls over the head. Her bowl followed through with the jack, and now currently putting the jack in a difficult place when it's off centre from the centre line, and it's a practice that not many people do, is drawing to an off centre jack. So we'll see how Garry goes with this. Weight's pretty spot on, and drawing right to the centre line.
Quite a good sighter for your necks as well, if you can get that weight right, which is, we saw at the beginning of the game he was struggling a wee bit there, but now we can clearly see he's got that confidence in his weight, and now it comes just down to adjusting that line.
Yeah, lovely bowl.
Good bowl by Geoff there. That looks like it could be the shot. Just need to see. Beryl's indicated it's a measure there. So Garry would just be looking to come round Beryl's bowl, or even make contact with it and just give it a roll or two closer to the jack.
Yeah, quite a few options for Garry here, and all he needs to do is sort of probably put a mat more on his weight, and yeah.
Oh, no, it's so good.
Yeah, no, he won't be happy with that one. I think he heard that from the microphone on the camera down his end. He said, oh, no good. So good opportunity here for Geoff. He's got this bowl and one more to try and add to the count at the moment, or actually make sure he's actually got the shot. First time we've had to put one really wide, so it's interesting to see the green playing very true. It has come back quite a long way there. So we could be having a measure all round here at the moment.
Yeah, could be.
Garry taking his time on the mat. Certainly looks like a better line than his first two bowls. Looks like a better weight too. He's going to get on to the front bowl there, as I said.
Yep.
And plays it very well, and certainly pushed that one of Beryl's in for shot, and his one may have come far enough, could be potentially second shot. So pressure on Geoff with his last bowl. Looks a similar line to Gary's, but I think it's just going to cut away. Gary's definitely playing with Dreamline XGs like yourself, Selena. So I see the one being taken out, and I think the measuring tape will come out for the other 4 bowls there.
I think that one needs.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Kathy's kindly.
Probably didn't want to.
No, and I suppose, you know, where we talk about experience and stuff like that.
2.
2 there.
Yep.
Certainly, you don't really want to, when it's close, give away a shot, and you know, ask the umpire or get down and measure it yourself, just in case, you know, you might be incorrect. I certainly knew as a junior there's probably lots of shots I'd given away because someone told me that he had 2, and
Oh, definitely.
and I just said, okay, yep, fair enough, it looks like 2 to me as
Yeah.
well. And
Yeah.
you know, people do try it on.
Yeah, so we've reached the halfway mark now. So it could be a game of 2 halves.
Could be. Certainly at the moment it's a very commanding lead for Garry Banks' team. And yeah, it could have been a bit of nerves there with Geoff and Kathy. You know, Kathy being in a major final in her 3rd year of bowling, and you know, you just never know. How do you handle your nerves when you're playing Tasman or international bowls?
I mean, it definitely helps being a part of a team when you're picked in those team disciplines, because you can kind of just ride off the wave of everybody else. But for myself, I just kind of, you know, see it as the experience that it is, and make the most out of the moment, really enjoy it. Try to just keep it simple. Sometimes if you just overthink where you are or what you're doing, you can let those nerves creep in too much. Some nerves are great. You know, nerves can often be what get you to play some of your best bowls. I know, sort of speaking to, I caught Beryl this morning just when she was making her cup of coffee before she head out, and her and Garry were having a wee laugh in their semi-final, saying, "We win this, you know, we'll be on the TV tomorrow morning." So, you know, I think that we've seen them playing really well at the beginning of this game. So, and they definitely would have had a wee bit of nerves, but it's, you know, probably that healthy balance where it's working for them.
Yeah, it's that nervous energy, you know, that sometimes gives, like that last bowl gives you a little bit of extra power, and that one gone into the ditch. But do you have a specific routine that you go through prior to playing a bowl?
Yeah. So I guess within bowls, often you'll find people have a whole lot of different routines, and some people do them but might not know that they actually do them. It's only if you sort of think about it you realise that there's some things you do every single time. So they say you've got a pre-tournament routine, a pre-day routine, a pre-shot routine, and an after-game routine. So it's very routine. But, you know, with bowls, the amount of bowls that we all are rolling up in an event like this to get to where you do, it's just a matter of consistency and doing the same thing all the time, and just getting better and better at perfecting that.
That's cool. And great second bowl there from Kathy Lister, just going over the head. Probably half a metre over, but certainly holding shot at the moment. So for Geoff and Kathy, you know, this really is a must-score end at the stage of the game, even if it is a 1, just to maybe gain that momentum of where they can, you know, start riding on the back of a bit of confidence. And this one, similar to her first one, just slightly narrow and just runs across the face of the green. So as they change over, this time Geoff will be quite happy. He's actually holding the shot as he changes over. Having a discussion with Beryl, and Geoff doing the same with Kathy. Probably trying to encourage encourage each other and get them through the last 6 ends of the game. We've also got another final being played on a couple of rinks over, which I'll try and find a score update with that discipline. Trying to look out the window, but I can't quite see the scoreboard. I think that might be the 60 to 74 mixed pairs. So Garry on another good line again, but I think he's just going to pull up short. So with the really great helper bowls in New Zealand, Tamara and Colin here, who have helped us make this available. You know, we've chosen sort of 3 different disciplines to cover today. We've obviously got the mixed 75 plus now. At roughly 11 o'clock we'll have the ladies 60 to 74 pairs final, and then at 2 o'clock this afternoon we'll have the men's 60 to 74 fours, which is set up to be quite a star-studded lineup of both fours. So
A grand finish for the day.
yeah, absolutely.
Might be able to get away with this line here.
Yeah, I think he's got the weight just to get it through, but hard to tell. Certainly not the shot, but maybe second shot. Beryl's got the other couple around anyway, so
I've noticed as well, we haven't really seen many conversion shots or
No.
heavy shots in this game yet.
no, and I think
Yeah.
you know, here's
Good line.
potentially a perfect opportunity for Garry to sort of go at that orange bowl. He's got
My bowl's right
2
on
or
my
3
line.
seconds.
That bowl's right on my
Either
line.
play with weight and try and stay, or go, you know, full noise at it.
Yeah, I think he's just saying that
We've got second
bowl's
shot,
right
eh?
in my line. You know, possibly.
I'll try it.
Yeah, possibly. I think he's wanting to play that same hand, but I guess if he opted to play a wee bit more weight, have that opportunity to sit the bowl out, then he'd be able to easily get under it.
Let's see what he's doing. Looks like he's just sticking to the draw.
Too
A
wide.
bit wide on this occasion. Certainly had the weight to sit that orange bowl, but just a little bit too wide. So good opportunity here for Geoff to add to the shot that he's already got. Again, looks on a very good line. It's all going to come down to his weight, whether he can get past that front blue one, which unfortunately he can't. So it's 1 to the Horwood team. So it's after 7 ends, it's 10-2 to the Garry Banks skip side. And you'll be pretty happy being a Takapuna girl.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Yep. Always great to see your club mates out at the crunchy end of events, and yeah, feel really lucky to be here commentating them in the final and see how they go. It's great support there at Takapuna, and I know that if the club members haven't been able to get here this morning, they'll be absolutely watching online.
Yeah, I mean, that, you know, the Takapuna Club over the last 2 or 3 years has just gone from strength to strength. You know, not just in the playing capacity, but in the work that's been done behind the scenes and at a commercial level. You know, certainly has made Takapuna one of the strongest clubs on the North Shore. Certainly from a ladies' point of view, you've got a wealth of talent there.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the men also, strong set of, you know, probably 15 to 20 guys there that could easily play at the top end of the game at a local level.
Yep.
And we've actually got in our televised 11 o'clock game, we've got a Takapuna pairing there as well of Adele Ineson and Connie Matheson,
Yeah.
who I watched in their first game at Browns Bay on Monday, and so they've made it through to the final.
Good ball, Beryl.
11 o'clock.
I think as well, Takapuna, besides from the competitive play as well, they've also got a really healthy balance in terms of the social events that they have on and the social bowls, and it's really just an all-round type of club. And I found as well with myself, playing mostly competitive bowls, when there is success within the club, everybody comes together to celebrate it. So it's just got a really good culture there.
Yeah, well, your ladies team just recently won the National Sevens Interclub for the North Harbour region.
Yeah, we did. Yep.
So be off to another national final, providing that we don't get interrupted by Omicron or COVID or any borders. But again, showing the strength of the ladies section at Takapuna, and a great bowl there from Kathy Lister to start with, and then a great response there from Beryl. A little bit hard to tell who's got the shot there, but Geoff just instructing Kathy to stay on her backhand, and she'll be looking to draw inside that blue bowl of Beryl's, and if not, sort of maybe just carry that the jack through a little bit, but she's just on the short side there.
Yep, got one.
Gary's confident. He's got one, so that blue bowl of Beryl's, which is probably about 6 to 8 inches short of the jack, that is the shot bowl. So Beryl will be looking now to do the opposite and reach that orange bowl. If she can do, it'd be great.
Just taking the right line for it as well when you're trying to add another one there. Play a wee bit wider, but just a bit unfortunate she didn't have the weight.
No, so
Garry didn't seem too bothered. Seems like just a great, a great atmosphere out there between both teams. They both seem quite cheerful and happy to be there, which is awesome to see.
Yeah, I mean, like I said right at the start, Garry, he's one of the most relaxed bowlers I've ever played against, or watched. Nothing phases him. He's always complimentary to the players that he's playing with, or even against.
Oh, look at the day. Look at the venue. It couldn't be better.
Yeah.
As you can hear there,
taking the words from her mouth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kathy just trying to instruct Geoff's bowl just to bend a little bit there, but it just gone over the head by about a metre. So Garry will be looking, if he can, to draw to that orange bowl, but he looks like he's a little bit wide. His weight's real good. But that is a bit of cover. If the jack does move, Garry has got another bowl in behind. Oh. So we've seen a bit of aggression. Very close. Oh, very good shot. Great shot there by Geoff. I think the first sign of anger in the game so far. Certainly looked for that bowl and he hit it clean, and was also fortunate that his bowl didn't run into Kathy's orange bowl, but she's holding shot now. So
he's it's nice to see him smiling after that one as well. I'd be smiling too if I played a stunner like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Garry not far away here.
Oh, it doesn't faze Garry.
No, so he just puts the bowl back.
Wonder if we'll see another attack shot again.
Do you think Geoff will go again?
Surely. If I was Kathy, I'd be saying, do it again. Now I've seen what you can do.
Looks like he's lining up that way, yep. There we go. He hasn't got the same line. I think Gary's holding the shot there. I think I just heard Beryl say that. Holding one. So opportunity for Garry to add another one here on the 8th end. Certainly on a good line, gets around that blue bowl, which he has done. I think he's just going to be a little bit heavy. But one shot there to the Garry Banks team. So now after 8 ends, 11-2. So 4 ends to go, 9 shots to make up to force an extra end. So they're going to have to start scoring multiples now, Selena, to try and get themselves back in the game.
Yeah, I think, different strategies now on both sides of the players. You've got Beryl taking a big, deep breath and, just thinking if I can just get a couple handy around the jack, that should be enough to, keep our lead. And as for Geoff and Kathy, they'll just be looking to group a bit more and just create more opportunities to score a number.
Yeah, to be able to convert into multiple shots. One thing that's interesting, we had Mike Kernahan come up and give us a session for our North Harbour men's team, and he talked about the front players and delivering the jacks and the discipline that he does of keep throwing a jack to the same length until he gets it within a metre 4 times, and if you miss one, you have to start again.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Do you anything like that you do because you play a lot of singles as well?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the jack is just the most underrated, tool when it comes to training. A lot of people just sort of either place it or just roll it and play to wherever it ends up. If you're looking to play singles or do really well in singles or looking to do a bit of leading, you've really got to make the jack a strength for you. So, dictating the length is a huge tool. In the sense of if you know your opposition are struggling at a certain length, or if you know that you have a strength in a certain length, you want to be able to put the jack to where you want to go, and not only that, you want to put it to where you want to go, and with your first bowl, you want to end up right on it.
Yeah, and I'm just looking here at both Kathy and Beryl, and certainly Beryl sort of, when she delivered the jack, she watched it for a little bit, but then turned her back and was sort of going to pick up her bowls, so it wasn't actually looking to actually where the jack had actually finished.
Yeah. Sometimes you can find, each of their own players. So for myself, I'm a big visualizer, so rolling the jack and just seeing how slowly it comes, to stopping to finish can help me determine the speed of the green at that length and how I could visualise my bowl coming to finish. So, yeah, lots of little elements where you've got to switch on and switch off to not use up too much mental energy.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw that the second bowl of Kathy Lister draw pretty close there, just sort of probably about half a metre over. And Garry commenting there on Beryl's bowl being pretty close, but Garry can afford really to give away ones at the moment. He's just hoping to get a good second shot. Like we said at the start of the end, the strategies start to change. But certainly, Garry won't go all defensive and just look to settle for that. He's a competitive guy that's always going to be trying to get the shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
But as it stands at the moment, as they change over, one shot being held by Kathy Lister, and sort of second and third bowls quite far away, but they're both Beryl's bowls. So Garry's still got plenty of room to draw in there, and he'll be looking just to get one inside.
They're a bit wayward though, aren't they?
That Kathy Lister bowl playing his backhand. Got the weight he's pretty close. Oh, just as green, just ran on a little bit. So you can see the green starting to speed up a bit, Selena, as those bowls are finishing. That looked like it was
Turning pretty quickly,
yeah,
wasn't it?
Yeah, turned pretty quickly as it started to slow down. So
Too much green.
Yeah, it's about this time of the day. Often you find, especially in morning games, the green can change probably the most that we'd see. If you're playing kind of in the middle of the game where you'll see the second stream that's brought to you today, the green will probably be a bit more consistent because, not much movement from the sun.
and also any dew that was on the green will be sort of drying up now. So Gary's taken a lot wider line. Let's see if this one comes back like his other one does, and it is, but just a little bit heavy. But again, what do you do now? Gary's 9 shots ahead. He's got 1 bowl left at the moment, and he's got 4 seconds. So if Geoff doesn't get anything within those 4 bowls of Takapunas, be interesting to see if Garry has a crack. But this is looking pretty good. Just doesn't want to move it.
Look at this.
He stayed
come
with
through.
it.
How clever.
Yeah. So he's gone from 1 up to 1 up.
Yeah, found all the gaps.
Yeah.
Well, that takes away what you were talking about before
Yeah.
with that bowl.
Okay.
But he has still got 4 seconds, I think, or 3 seconds. But I mean, again, Garry would just be drawing, and he'll be happy if he only goes 1 down on this end. A pretty reasonable line. Perfect weight too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know if that's come alive. No, bowl's picked up by Beryl, so let's see if Geoff can add to the existing shot that he's got. Again on pretty good line.
Not turning now.
Yeah, I mean, if they get a couple here, it's just a bit heavy.
Yeah.
That's all it can take, though, at this stage of the game.
Just the one.
Just the one.
Just the one. Oh, well, it stops the, I suppose, stops the rod of, Gary's team, who sort of got on a run of 4 or 5 ends, and now they're just going end for end with each other at the moment. But 3 ends to go, 8 shots the difference. Again, they'll be looking to try and pick up a multiple here, which can be done. I've seen it many times before where they can, pick up a 3 or a 4, or, that puts them right back in the game.
I feel with Garry and Beryl's experience as well, they'll know that it can happen too. If you haven't done it to somebody, it's probably been done to you. So you don't forget those ones. Yeah, you can see there Beryl taking a few deep breaths. She definitely knows that the job's not over.
No. You've seen Kathy Lister swap hands quite a few times. She had been playing the backhand coming this way, closest to us, and had put one pretty close, but this time deciding to change to her forehand. So again, maybe that experience, or lack of experience, may have an effect on Kathy as the pressure sort of starts to go on. Garry will be pretty happy with that over the head to start with.
I think with Kathy as well, the fact that she's put her hand up to enter in this event as a single entry and be a part of a game where, she's playing against people who have, some may have been playing for over 30, 40 years. It's the best, for someone like her, it's the best way to get experience in this game, and it's going to lift her game a lot.
Yeah, as we see there, she changed back to her backhand and, a great shot there. Very close to the jack.
You do some coaching?
Eh?
Do you do some coaching?
No, I don't. I need coaching.
Good to there.
Oh, I think she heard you there.
Yeah, so this ain't far away either. So pretty good response from
Nice bowl, Beryl.
One down.
from Beryl. Garry Banks saying that they're one down. Kathy can put another one there. That might put some pressure on Beryl and Garry. So it's a pretty similar line. Just needs to have the weight. But no, the weight's
Yep.
taking the weight off, as you can see, right back to the centre line, but 2 or 3 metres short. So looks a bit narrow for these bowls.
Gonna run away.
Yeah, hit it.
Unlike Beryl.
Sorry, Beryl.
Oh no.
You got to get a few of those to just even up the averages. You can't have 100.
No, it's good to see, even though you are playing in a final, that it's played in good spirit.
Absolutely.
And, all the players, bit of humour and
Yep.
and that, I've noticed Garry when either Geoff or Kathy have been, played good shots, that he's encouraged them and clapped them, and, that's what our sport's about.
Oh, it is.
It's you always want to win, but, it's how you play the game and, how you treat the opposition with respect as well while you're on the green.
Yeah, and also, what is it that you want to get out of today? Like, both these teams definitely would have woken up and 100% would have been saying, I want to win.
Absolutely.
But, secondly, if that's not the case, it's often, I want to be out there having a good time and making the most out of this opportunity, which, seeing the spirits that they're in, they're definitely achieving that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, like I said, all the games that I've watched throughout the week, didn't matter which age bracket the people were in or the discipline they were playing.
What's that called?
Even at lunchtime, everyone was having, a really good chat and, people making new friends. As we see Gary's bowl come pretty close, just falls backwards. Could be the shot.
I think I still favour mine, but the measure.
Okay, so Kathy says it's a measure, but she favours her own bowl. All Geoff needs to do is certainly reach, and any movement of the kiddies all good for him.
Yeah,
He's got another catcher there.
they definitely need a 3, if they're on this end, and
That was perfect.
had that weight for it. Yep.
Yeah. He narrows that up just a fraction with his last bowl.
Yeah, if you want to be mean.
Even Gary's pleasant when he's telling his
Yeah.
his partner to be
No,
quiet.
thank you.
Are you in? Oh no, of course not. Are you in the pools? No.
Great bowl here from
Yeah.
Garry. Drawing the shot dead himself.
Yeah.
Well bowled.
He probably thought, I've told her
Yeah,
no, so I
yeah,
better go ahead and
exactly.
do what I was
Yeah.
meant to do.
Yeah, I think Beryl might have wanted him to have a look at that orange bowl that was sort of
Yeah.
sitting there, given that they had the seconds. But Gary's wisdom of knowing that.
That trial could
they're-
have happened.
Yeah, and they're 8 shots ahead at the moment, so doesn't want to give away a big number. If I was him, I'd be sort of adding a metre on his last one and just come around the back just in case Geoff decides that he'll have a crack at his bowl, but he's certainly got the width for it. That comes back alive and anywhere over the head will be really good for Garry. I might be a little bit disappointed with that. Anyway, it's definitely one.
Yeah.
Just a one.
Just the one.
So 1 to Garry Banks makes the score 12-3 after 10 ends of the 12 end final. So 2 big numbers needed in the last 2 ends, Selena.
Yep, it can happen.
Yeah, it definitely can happen. I've seen at the weekend when I was playing bowls, I've seen someone pick up a 5 on the last end to win by 1.
Yep.
And the other team weren't playing bad bowls. It just the way the bowls fell and
Yep.
the shot that the skip played, and you're usually pretty confident that you can relax now, but with this game you certainly can't. But
All yours, Geoff.
if they don't,
Definitely out this time.
okay, it's out.
Oh, here we go. Geoff's got a plan.
Just got a plan. He's going to put
It's
Matt
behind
right
the
back
line.
and play as short as he possibly can. If they don't pick up a big number, they may shake hands at the end
Pretend
of
you're a
this,
brain surgeon.
this end.
Yeah.
So with the speed of the green, you won't have to put too much weight behind it when you're
It's quite
delivering it.
quite interesting seeing when you often need a big number.
Very good.
It's quite unusual to see the jack be asked to put the jack quite short
Yep.
because you want to be building a patch somewhere, and giving respect to your oppositions. They're probably going to get one on the head, so ideally you'd look to put the jack sort of near that 2 metre, just above the 2 metre mark, and build a bit of a patch. But what do I know?
Yeah.
What do I know? Build a bit of a community behind the jack, and then do something like that with your last bowl to make it 5 or 6.
Yeah, absolutely. Generally when you are looking for big numbers, that sort of medium to long length gives you that best opportunity, but maybe Geoff's got something
very
up
good.
his sleeve.
Yep, Geoff's got a plan.
But Beryl seems to have adjusted very nicely there. Sat on the bowl there of Kathy Lister, and looks like holding shot. So
She shouldn't be doing it anyway.
Quite a quality reply as well, and the fact that this is the shortest length that they've played all game, and it's an off-centre jack, and they both played 2 very good bowls.
yeah, hard to see where this one's going because Gary's standing right in the way, but that's all good.
2 options.
See where it finishes.
And she got the kitty.
Oh,
Oh,
look
yeah,
at this.
well done. Yeah,
That's
great
exactly what you want to be doing when you're looking to get a bit of a number. Keep moving that jack and end up behind the jack, but not out of play.
shot. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the jack's moved twice already, and sometimes can put the opposition off, as we see there from Beryl, just going a little bit too wide with where the jack's been
Yeah, that's
moved
good,
to,
yeah.
but Garry very happy with the bowl over the head anyway. Certainly reduces the opportunity of giving away a big number.
Now, if there's one thing that Kathy should be really proud of at the end of this game, regardless of whatever way the result goes, is pretty sure she's had the most touches this
Yeah.
game. Seen a lot of chalk on her bowls.
Absolutely. Oh, she was just a little unfortunate there not to
Only one
just
down.
drop inside the blue. So the way it's sort of standing at the moment, that head, is looking for Geoff play on his forehand and try and move the kitty to that other orange bowl, which should give him sort of 3. But I'm sure Garry, with his experience, he's got a plan. He'll probably play his backhand here, where he'll try to. Someone obviously making some noise, putting him off.
Yeah,
But
that's right.
Garry will probably play the backhand, looking to just get in between those 2 orange
They
bowls.
didn't do the board, did they? No. So they did the thing, 10.
But before that. Geoff looking on his forehand again. Looks like it might just be a little bit too wide, Selena. Well, it is turning. Just. Oh, well, it's dropped in there. That could be counting. So Garry decided to play his forehand, looking just to probably get in between that bunch. So just coming across the head there. This has probably been one of the closest, tightest heads that we've had all game, and considering it's at the shortest possible length, maybe Geoff might have considered playing this a little bit earlier, but they're all playing, there's 2, 4, 6 bowls there within a metre, which is pretty reasonable.
It's still all on for Geoff's team as well here. They've been able to build that wee group that we were talking about behind the jack, so depending on where Garry's bowl finishes, you could see a really huge bowl from Geoff on the next.
Yep. And he's just going to cut across, but it's actually very good weight, because that sort of bunch that you're talking about, Selena, now has a white bowl stuck in between it, but Geoff's still on the draw. Yeah, looks
This
like
is it.
it's going to be the shot itself, and he's moved it slightly. So
Only a couple though, I think.
definitely 2. As he's entitled to, Garry's going to come up before his final bowl and just have a look at the head. So what's next for you, Selena, in the bowling community? What have you got coming up?
A couple sort of just rep practices, and hopefully the intercentre coming up, and hopefully there's some positive news in terms of the second camp with the New Zealand squad. And then it'll be coming close to the end of the season almost.
Yeah,
And the sevens as well.
oh, yep,
Yep.
still got the sevens.
Sevens as well, yep.
You're not playing in the North Harbour centre singles tomorrow? Or a triple, sorry, I mean?
No. So, there's just been a few of those centre events that I've chosen not to play this year, just to try balance that. Just try balance playing on quicker greens and heavier greens, depending on the different commitments.
Mm-hmm. I'll certainly give some other ladies an opportunity to win anyway. Okay, so Beryl's conceded 2. Kathy going to look for a third. Just the 2. So that's 12-5 now after the 11 or 12 ends. So unfortunately, there's with the score difference now being 7, it's impossible for the Horwood Lister team to win, but they're going to play the last end anyway. So be nice for Geoff and Kathy to get another couple of shots.
Yeah,
that, sort of finish on a high and win the last couple of ends and bring the score closer.
I think they found that short ends are their game. Geoff definitely had a plan, and it worked.
Yeah, he did. And then now they're going back to certainly 2 metre mark with the mat moved up a little bit. But I think, Selena, you'd agree with me, sort of from the start. I know the first couple of ends, it was pretty even. But, Garry and Beryl got on a roll from about the third end, of where they got those 4 ends in a row and
Yeah.
sort of took the score right out to sort of 10-1, which was really the deciding factor in this game.
Yeah, definitely. I think, just looking at the scorecard, we can see that Garry and Beryl definitely dominated the first half, but actually in the second half, it's been tit for tat, One team's been winning one way and then the other.
Yeah.
So we sort of mentioned it before with the games being a bit shorter. There's not much time. Well, you can't really allow dropping a number, and unfortunately for Geoff and Kathy, they, dropped 2 threes and a 2 at the beginning, so set them back a wee bit. But they've done really well to get a couple close and lift on their score from the beginning and look to finish on a high.
Yeah, they certainly, body language hasn't been that they've given up. They're still trying as hard as they can, and just looking to finish out the game on a high.
5, Ross.
Yeah, and credit to Beryl and Garry as well. I think that we saw, Beryl's leading, especially at the beginning, kind of having that 1 close and 2 behind, seemed to be doing the job, and it definitely did when Garry was finding his weight at the beginning, and once he did, he was then able to, add to the head, which is where we saw those bigger numbers.
And a lovely bowl here from Beryl. Sits in behind, definitely shot now. So Kathy Lister with their last bowl of the tournament. Want to make a good one. Like you said, she's had the most touches. I think she might be a little bit narrow with this. Yeah, particularly with these fast greens, you've just got to get that line right, eh? Get the green, otherwise your bowls just cut right away.
Yeah.
They're pretty unforgiving.
Yeah, and it's also sometimes when they are running quite wide, it's a matter of believing what you're seeing. I know sometimes I've played on such quick and wide greens that I'm like, surely this line is wide enough, and it's still cutting under, so you definitely need to believe what you're seeing.
Yeah, and that becomes a mental thing, right?
Yeah.
Because you're looking where you're pointing it and you're thinking, there's just no way that that's going to come back that far, and so your mind's telling you one thing, your eyes are telling you a different thing, but 9 times out of 10, if you do take that green,
It'll come back.
It will come back.
Yeah.
And most skips would like you to finish on, this side where the bowl is slightly over the head and on the side of the centre line where it doesn't cut across, because there's more options of where they can play.
Yep, absolutely.
So Geoff there, that might end up in the ditch. Nothing wrong with his line, it was just his weight there, a little bit too heavy. I'm sure Garry would like to add a couple close to finish off the game. Like I said, he's got another 2 finals to play today, so
probably had a big breakfast.
Yeah, he's in line to potentially win 3 over 75 games, and as I said to you, Garry does come in now and draws the shot. Just moved his line in, but I think he's dropped his weight again, so just going to slide right across the head. So Garry on a very good line again. He is trusting that, like you were saying, trusting that width for it to come back, and it comes back real sharp towards the end.
Yeah. I think Beryl and Garry are just showing, how they won this game, pretty summarising it well here on this last end.
Yep.
Some really nice grouping, and their line's been great.
So a better line here for Geoff. Getting the clap from Kathy, but he's just going to slide by. So Garry will play his last game of this sorry, his last bowl of this game. He's pretty similar to his other two.
I think the last thing he was thinking was to be narrow.
Yeah, it certainly
So
wasn't.
staying wide's the right way to
That's
go.
perfect weight there. So congratulations to Garry Banks and Beryl MacDonald from the Takapuna Club, who are the winners of the 75 plus mixed pairs here at Orewa, the Bowls North Harbour New Zealand Masters. On behalf of Bowls North Harbour, myself, Stephen Yates, the chairman, I would certainly like to thank Selena for your wonderful expertise and comments, and hope you can stick around as long as you can, because it's really good to get a perspective from a high quality player like yourself.
Probably got the thing
I don't think you need to measure that one. Beryl, she's already taken 4, but anyway, I suppose it's just for the scorecard. So it was a 5 in the end. So anyway, that's the conclusion of the game. Convincing win to Garry Banks and Beryl MacDonald beating Geoff Horwood and Kathy Lister by 17 shots to 5. Please do hang around. We will be back on air around about 11 o'clock with the ladies 60 to 74 pairs. But on behalf of Bowls North Harbour and Selena, thanks very much for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you on our next live stream. Thank you.
Are you ready? Yeah! All right, here we go. Everybody, get on up and do your stuff. You better get up. Take the rub off the floor. We're gonna groove right here a little bit more. Do your stuff. Don't be so rough, but you got to be tough when you do your stuff.